Uh, Chase, can you sorry, Ian, go ahead.
I just got off of 5M.
Well, can you get
I mean,
back
it's
down?
I can, but I mean, it's pretty cut and clear shooting, honestly. They advanced towards an officer out of their vehicle. I opened fire.
All right, Larson, get in the train city now.
I'm working on it. Hold on, man.
Hey, wake up.
Wait. Before we do that, let's read her rights first, just in case. Okay. Let's just read her.
Need the DC.
Sorry, say that again. My audio.
Need the direct connect.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's got it. Thanks, Ian.
Where are we meeting?
MRPD.
Did I join the wrong training server?
Nah, I'm just hopping in now. Shit, I'm all the way to Sandy. Flying down right now to MRPD. Sorry, I was still at Sandy from the training earlier. We all here?
I think so.
Alright, come here. Everyone. Alright, Larson, go ahead and sit down.
All right. It doesn't let me sit on there, so.
Your slash sit to muscle.
It's not working. Oh, there we go.
Alright, man. So, we had an incident come to our understanding here, and it was brought to our attention. And I'm sure you
Alright.
probably know about it, is why you came to us, right?
Right, because I want to clear my side before a massive witch hunt started, which ended up not happening, so. So we're here now instead of me being able to explain myself beforehand.
Go ahead, man.
Well, I get on scene to a pursuit, flying all the way down Zancudo. I got, I believe it was Chris. It was Chris. Asked me to block the vehicle in, so I get behind him, sitting at the gas pumps. So, for example, got one on the right, one on the left, so they're blocked in, and she immediately just rams my vehicle as hard as she can. I get out, draw my firearm, point it towards the vehicle. I got Chris outside of the vehicle, hardly protected by it, and she guns it towards them. That's why I opened fire, because she gunned it right towards an unprotected officer that could have easily been crushed or killed.
Have her blocked in, so there's not enough speed and able to strike a vehicle extremely hard, putting your life at danger, though.
If I may, in real life, I was in an accident at 30 miles an hour with my seatbelt on, and with speeds actually being between us being pretty low, and I still got a pretty bad back injury off of 30 miles an hour. That was with protection. Now imagine a 2-ton vehicle crushing somebody, let alone their head, pop it just like a pimple. Unprotected. Speed doesn't matter in the situation. All they got to do is get the tire over somebody's head and they're dead.
Okay, do you have any body cam to pertain to this or not?
No, I was running traffic all day. Next thing I know, I'm involved in a shooting for the first time in a month. So, unless Chris has any.
So you pretty much, what happened was you were in a 60 and it led to the gas
That was
station,
a
her filling
secondary.
up her vehicle. You're
Right.
secondary, okay. And you guys blocked him off, or blocked her off, because that's
Right,
what
she immediately
strangers
ran my
do, right?
vehicle as soon as she could, probably about 20 miles an hour, 25. Then put it right back in the drive, and as quick as she could, rammed right into an unprotected officer.
So I'm pretty sure she tried ramming your vehicle because you guys blocked her in, am I correct?
Correct. And I was asked to block her in, so I did as I was asked.
So how close did you block her vehicle in?
Not very close at all. If, say, on one end of this room, like one right here, this is the bollards on over here, and probably, say about the, what are they called? I can't think of the name. The black thing right here, roughly, is the other end of the bollards. I was probably behind the wall right here, with my push bar being at the bollards, and Chris being probably about the same as well. So there's quite a bit of distance to get some speed on an electric vehicle.
Okay, so you pretty much considered that code red to where you shoot the individual that's unarmed trying to get away?
A vehicle is a weapon, sir, with all due respect. That is not unarmed.
It depends on the situation, though, and how hard she tried to ram you guys.
Well, I mean, she rammed me pretty hard and immediately started driving towards an unprotected officer. I mean...
Okay. So, to your point, you think that could have been issued as code red, is what you're saying, which is why you pretty
I
much
believe
shot
that would have been
her straight
life-threatening,
to the
yeah.
head.
Wow, I'm surprised I even hit her in the head.
Were you aiming for the head?
I was not aiming for the head. I was aiming for center mass.
But you were aiming for her, though, right?
I was aiming in her general direction, yes. But I was not aiming for her head, specifically speaking. I shot to stop the threat, and it's unfortunate that she got shot in the head, but she gunned it towards an unprotected officer. I mean, am I going to tase her? Because then she's going to turn around and ram me in between me and a gas pump or me and my vehicle.
Alright, you thought your life was at danger at that point, to a point to call
Not
it code
mine, but
red and
another
drag her off the
officer's, but but another officer's. And say, for example, I didn't shoot her, right? She turns around, tries to hit my vehicle again, or even looking back, turns the wheel accidentally or intentionally, blocks me and it pins me up against a gas pump. I mean, if you ever take a Ziploc bag, right? And if you put your fingers in between towards where it cuts it off in 2 sections, poke a few holes in the bottom, have you ever seen somebody get crushed? That's how they die. Crushing between something, that's how people get killed. Even if it's just, it seems pretty minor, but there's a lot
You're
of
also
danger
putting,
right there when you have a vehicle going towards an unprotected officer.
but you're also putting your life at risk when you're blocking the vehicle, depending on if you are out of your vehicle or not when you block them in, because you think she's just gonna stand there and get out with her hands up.
I mean, they were still out of the vehicle when we first approached. And I was asked to block her in, so I did as I was ordered to.
Okay, so they got in their vehicle after you blocked them in.
Correct.
They were pumping gas.
Right around roughly, right as we pulled up, they got in their vehicle. I did as I was asked to, so I was ordered to block the vehicle, and I blocked the vehicle in. She gunned it towards me. I was still in my vehicle getting out in that process, and I got it right after she hit me. Drew my firearm to get her at gunpoint, and by the time I aimed, she was already gunning at another officer. I decided to take action to protect the other officer's life. In that immediate vicinity, I believe that she could have run over and seriously injured or possibly killed another officer. I made a split-second decision that I didn't have any time to wait and decide otherwise, and I decided to do my best to protect an officer that couldn't protect himself.
Okay, so that's the decision you made, right? In a split
That's the
second.
split-second decision I
Because
made.
you thought
I
your
didn't have any time to think
life
about it.
or the officer's life was at risk and at danger, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Because by the time he had already gotten out, that vehicle was already coming towards him, and when he was actually physically out, they were coming pretty close to getting contact with that vehicle that he was currently in. And as I said, all it takes is for that vehicle to bump him, he falls down, tire goes over his head, they have a funeral.
Right.
And now you add another vehicle that's speeding towards that one. I mean, that's 8 tires that could roll over somebody.
Okay. Do you have any officers that could back up the story?
I have my wife, but she's currently getting in bed.
Okay. Any other officers that were on scene?
Strain and...
Any troopers?
It was Chris Strain that was on... That's the officer that was getting run at, and Steve Webster was there not long after, but I'm not sure if he witnessed it or not.
You said Webster was there long after?
Not long after. I don't know if he actually witnessed it or not, because by the time I blocked it in, I didn't hear any other sirens besides myself, which I'd already turned off, and Chris's, which he had a single siren on, which didn't end up getting turned off. So.
Okay. Yeah, we're just trying to get to the bottom of this.
Oh, that's understandable. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to explain my side. Like, I didn't have much time to think about it. I saw a threat, and I took action that I really don't like shooting people, but I mean, it's either that or I watch an officer get run over, and I prefer to not see either of those, but I took an oath to swear to protect and serve, and fortunately, protection involves sometimes having to shoot somebody, whether I like it or not.
All right, so at this point, with everything going on, you're not going to be going on duty for a little bit. We're going to try and figure everything out here. This is why we told you to get out of the city. Well, I think someone told you to do that already, but I don't know if you did that on your
Nobody told me
record
to
or
get out of
not.
the city.
Okay. But then, yeah. So at this time point, you're not going to be going on duty until we figure this whole thing out. You're going to be called in here very shortly again as we discuss everything that's going on and what to do.
All right.
And get every side of the story.
I'm going to go ahead and have a smoke.
All right. All right, come here. All right, you can shut it off. All right, you guys here?